The lights didn't just dim, they staged a dramatic exit. Cameras hadn't even started rolling, yet the audience of millions leaned in like it was primetime television. What they saw, pure heartbreak. Karlissa, hands shaking, eyes swollen, with tears, gripped them tight in a desperate plea for her grandson's life. Next to her, Chrisean Rock's voice cracked apart as she begged the heavens for a miracle. Her agony wasn't polished, it was raw, unfiltered, painfully real. But that quiet moment of faith, yeah, it spun into a viral circus faster than you could hit refresh. These weren't hushed whispers to God. They were full-on screams drowned in flashing lights, live stream chaos, and viral clips. Fans swore. Karlissa nearly collapsed mid-prayer while Chrisean's gut-wrenching sobs rang out like an omen of something far darker crawling underneath. And of course, the mess only thickened. Insiders whispered those prayers weren't just about healing, they reeked of family betrayals, bitter fights, and ugly truths finally bubbling into the spotlight. What started as a mother and daughter praying shoulder to shoulder has now mutated into a headline-grabbing spectacle of accusations, meltdowns, and secrets sharp enough to split them forever. So what really went down in those desperate prayers, and how did a moment of faith explode into an emotional battlefield? And what secrets are still ticking like bombs, ready to blow wide open? Stay tuned, because the next chapter in this family saga is darker, louder, and messier than anyone dared imagine. To understand how Karlissa and Chrisean Rock's desperate prayers collapsed into chaos, you've got to rewind to their tangled, bruised history as mother and daughter. A bond built on love, betrayal, and public meltdowns, with Karlissa the outspoken matriarch who never bites her tongue living permanently in the glare of controversy. Her online rants, raw live streams, and unapologetic hot takes have made her both hated and respected. To some, she's the mom who keeps it real no matter how ugly it gets. To others, she's the exact reason her family drama never ends. And then there's Chrisean Rock, fiery, unpredictable, an emotional storm whose rise to fame has been as chaotic as it has been meteoric. From her music to her reality TV roller coaster with Blueface, she's built an entire brand around being unfiltered. She cries when she's hurt, she screams when betrayed, and she fights harder than anyone when cornered. But behind the fame, her battles with trust, loyalty, and mental health have unfolded live for the world, leaving her wide open to judgment. And the tension between Karlissa and Chrisean. Please, fans have been watching that train wreck for years. Karlissa blasting Chrisean for reckless choices. Chrisean firing back that her mother was nothing but controlling and cold. Their fights have gone live on Instagram. Their screaming matches have trended on Twitter, and their private mess has been spilled for the world like cheap wine. So when these two suddenly showed up side by side in prayer, fans actually thought just for a second that maybe, finally, the Chaos Queens had found common ground. The image was powerful, Karlissa clutching her hands, head bowed, while Chrisean knelt beside her. For once, no shouting. For once, no blame. For once, fear united them instead of tearing them apart. But don't get it twisted, this wasn't just about faith. This wasn't only about begging heaven for mercy. Insiders swear the prayers were sparked by something far more terrifying, a health scare involving Chrisean's baby. The second news broke that the child had been rushed to the hospital, everything flipped upside down. Cameras snapped, fans speculated, and suddenly Karlissa and Chrisean were trapped in the same room, facing the same nightmare. And that's where the infamous prayers began. At first, it was soft, almost holy, Karlissa whispering through tears, Chrisean clutching her chest, begging for mercy. But then the script flipped. The louder the prayers got, the uglier the emotions spilled. Karlissa's voice cracked into accusations, muttering about sins, consequences, and bad choices, dragging curses onto the family. Chrisean snapped, her sobs twisting into screams. This ain't about me, mama. Stop blaming me for everything. What should have been a rare moment of unity detonated into yet another mother-daughter feud. Only this time, it wasn't private, it was blasted. In front of flashing cameras and thousands of live viewers, fans watching the leaked clips called it heartbreaking, surreal, downright uncomfortable. One second Karlissa was begging God to save her grandson, the next she was pointing the finger straight at her daughter, already drowning in fear for her child. Chrisean fired back through tears, accusing her mother of caring more about image than actual healing. The internet? It devoured every second. TikTok edits of the prayer fight went viral with captions like, "Even God couldn't stop the drama," Twitter threads erupted. Was Karlissa right? Was Chrisean wrong? Or was this family doomed to forever turn tragedy into spectacle? Spectacle, yes, but underneath the chaos lurks something far darker. Alleged insiders whispered those prayers cracked the family wide open, exposing fractures deeper than anyone realized. Because while Karlissa begged for the baby's life, she muttered about hidden truths, secrets she swore Chrisean was still keeping. That's when the internet went into overdrive. Were these prayers about faith, or was this Karlissa finally dragging skeletons out into the light? The moment wasn't private anymore. It wasn't sacred. It mutated into a public battlefield. And in that arena, Karlissa and Chrisean weren't just mother and daughter, they were two opponents fighting for control of the narrative. And just when it felt like things couldn't spiral lower, the first twist detonated, turning desperate prayers into the opening act of something much nastier. The prayers had barely started before the atmosphere flipped from desperation to pure destruction. What should have been sacred was now a family meltdown, broadcast in real time for the world to devour. Karlissa's voice shook with sincerity as she prayed, "Lord, touch this baby. Give him life. Don't let the devil steal him from us." Hands clenched tight, tears streaming. For a fleeting second, the internet glimpsed a softer side of the woman usually branded combative. But then her tone shifted. Her voice cracked with fury, almost like the prayer wasn't for God anymore but a dagger aimed straight at her daughter. Eyewitnesses swear, Karlissa muttered under her breath, "This wouldn't have happened if you made better choices, Chrisean." That one line shattered the fragile peace. Already kneeling and sobbing, Chrisean snapped her head up, tears morphing into rage. "Mama, this ain't the time for shade. My baby's fighting for his life and you're worried about pointing fingers?" The room froze for a heartbeat until Karlissa fired back, "I'm pointing at the truth. You think God doesn't see the way you've been living? You think this ain't punishment?" Boom. Just like that, the prayer circle turned into a war zone. The cameras kept rolling, catching every raw second. Within minutes, clips spilled online like wildfire. Fans sat in disbelief as Karlissa, hands still folded in prayer, hurled accusations while Chrisean, mascara streaking down her face, screamed back in agony. What should have stayed private went viral in record time. A prayer morphed into a brawl, exploding under the hashtag #prayerdrama.by midnight. Twitter threads were dissecting every breath, while TikTok creators slowed down Chrisean's screams. With captions like, "Her pain is real, but so is the rage." Instagram pages lit up with headlines, "Karlissa turns prayer into blame game while Chrisean collapses in tears." But the real bombshell came from an alleged insider leak. During the heated exchange, Karlissa allegedly blurted, "You know this baby's sickness is tied to the lies you've been telling." The words sent the internet into meltdown. Lies? What lies? Was Karlissa implying Chrisean had been hiding something about the baby's health, or was this just another one of her infamous digs designed to cut her daughter at her weakest? No one knew, but the speculation was instant, vicious, and relentless. One viral TikTok racking up 2.3 million views didn't sugarcoat a thing. Karlissa basically accused her own daughter of causing her baby's condition. "This ain't prayer. It's a public crucifixion," the caption declared. And Chrisean's reaction? It only threw gasoline on the fire. Eyewitnesses said she jumped up, hands trembling as she pointed at her mother, screaming, "Don't you dare put that on me. Don't you dare, Mama. You've been against me from the start, and now you want to act like my pain is my fault?" Her meltdown was so explosive that security reportedly rushed in to calm the chaos. But the cameras kept rolling, and within hours, the footage was everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Fans were instantly divided. Some sided with Chrisean, calling her a young mother crushed by tragedy. Others defended Karlissa, insisting she was just spitting the hard truths nobody else dared to say. The family's raw pain had mutated into primetime entertainment, and the internet refused to look away. But just as the screaming reached its boiling point, the first real twist hit when a gossip blog dropped a bombshell that took the feud to an even darker level. Then came the bombshell: a leaked audio allegedly recorded during that very prayer session. In it, Karlissa's voice could be heard muttering, "I begged her not to keep this child, but she wouldn't listen." Now look. The clip spread like wildfire and fans gasped at the implication. Had Karlissa actually admitted she told Chrisean not to have the baby? Was she suggesting this tragedy proved she had been right all along? The backlash was instant. Supporters of Chrisean dragged Karlissa online, branding her cold-hearted and evil for turning a prayer into an attack. One viral tweet with 50,000 likes read, Imagine blaming your daughter's sick baby on her choices instead of praying for healing. Karlissa needs help, but not everyone agreed. Some claimed the audio was taken out of context, twisted to make her look worse, insisting she was talking about the stress Chrisean had endured, not condemning her. The debate raged for hours until another twist blew the chaos even wider. Chrisean herself went live on Instagram, visibly shaken, sobs threatening to break through as she addressed the leaks in a trembling voice. "Y'all heard my mama. Y'all saw what she did. She's supposed to pray with me, not against me." Even in her darkest moment, Chrisean said her mother turned it into a performance. Her Instagram live pulled over 400,000 viewers in less than 10 minutes. Comments flooded with prayers, hearts, and pure fury aimed at Karlissa. But the most haunting part came at the very end, when Chrisean's voice broke as she whispered, "If my baby don't make it, I'll never forgive her." That line hit the internet like dynamite. Headlines screamed, "Chrisean blames her mother for baby's struggles." Twitter exploded with sympathy, rage, and conspiracy theories. But behind all the heartbreak lurked something darker. Insiders close to the family swore Karlissa wasn't done. They claimed she had more to reveal, more truths she was ready to drop. And that's where the cliffhanger came crashing in. Because if Karlissa really had secrets about Chrisean and her baby, and if she was ruthless enough to expose them publicly, then those desperate prayers were just the opening act of a living drama that could shatter the family forever. The world was still reeling from the leaked audio when the scandal twisted into something even darker. What started as desperate prayers for a child's survival had spiraled into a vicious circus where every whisper, every tear, every accusation became internet ammo by sunrise. Hashtag prayer drama had mutated into hashtag Karlissa versus Chrisean, with millions of tweets tearing apart every second. TikTok edits of Chrisean's tear-streaked face went viral under captions like "she just wanted prayers, but got betrayal instead." Meanwhile, clips of Karlissa wagging her finger mid-prayer were memed with captions like "when your mama's sermon turns into a courtroom." But then came the reveal nobody saw coming: a second leak. Not audio this time, but video. It showed Karlissa storming out of the prayer circle, muttering under her breath while a hidden phone camera caught everything. Her faint but chilling words, "If she won't admit the truth about that baby's father, maybe God will." The internet exploded. Wait, what truth? What was Karlissa implying about the baby's paternity? Fans flooded the comments with theories. Was she saying the baby wasn't Blueface's? Was she hinting at a secret fling Chrisean had kept hidden? Or was this just another cruel jab from a mother infamous for saying the unthinkable? Speculation spread like wildfire. Some fans swore they'd already seen receipts months ago pointing to another man. Others accused Karlissa of spinning lies to shift blame off herself. But one thing was clear: the leaked video hurled the family drama into an even nastier league. Already broken, Chrisean snapped back on Instagram Live, this time visibly furious. Shaking, with tears streaking down her cheeks, she screamed into the camera, "Mama, you really want to play me like this? You're really gonna stand there while my baby's fighting for his life and talk about who his daddy is? You evil, you don't love me, you never did." Her words sliced like knives, and within minutes the live hit 500,000 viewers. Fans flooded the chat with "Stay strong, Chrisean and Karlissa crossed the line." But the most chilling moment came when Chrisean, sobbing, whispered, "If I lose my son, you'll lose me too." That line shattered hearts worldwide. Tearful fan reaction videos poured in, celebrities tweeted prayers, and the internet became a battlefield. Sympathy for Chrisean, outrage at Karlissa. But Karlissa, she didn't flinch. Hours later, she jumped on her own live, defiantly declaring, "Y'all can cancel me, drag me, hate me, I don't care. I spoke the truth. God don't bless mess, and I refuse to sit here and pretend my daughter's choices didn't lead us here." The live was a train wreck. Thousands of furious fans filled her comments, branding her toxic, heartless, the root of her family's collapse. Yet Karlissa doubled down, even hinting she had documents and receipts to prove she wasn't lying about the baby's paternity. And just like that, prayer drama mutated into a full-blown paternity scandal. Gossip blogs went feral. Headlines screamed, "Karlissa hints Chrisean's baby might not be Blueface's." Family chaos at breaking point. Another teased, "Receipts coming. Karlissa promises to expose baby daddy truth." Social media went nuclear. Supporters of Chrisean swore Karlissa was spreading poison to destroy her daughter, while others speculated she might actually have proof. The debates turned savage. If she's got receipts, show them. Otherwise, she's evil. Chrisean doesn't deserve this, not while her baby's fighting for life. But then the most devastating blow hit. A mysterious account dropped a blurred image, claiming it was a DNA report. Names redacted, details obscured, but the caption read, "The truth always comes out." Fans lost their minds. Was this Karlissa's doing? A leak from someone in her corner? Or just another troll exploiting the chaos? Nobody knew, but the damage was already done. But the fallout was instant. Chrisean clapped back in an emotional post. "I don't care what lies y'all spread. I know who my son's father is. I won't let nobody, not even my mama, take that away from me." The internet split right down the middle. TikTok trends broke into two warring camps. Pray for Chrisean versus hashtag Karlissa was right dash, while Twitter spaces packed. Thousands of listeners dissecting whether that blurred DNA report was real or just smoke. Then came the twist that froze everyone. A leaked text thread, circulating on gossip blogs, allegedly showed Karlissa messaging a close friend during the chaos. "This is the only way she'll finally admit it. If she won't be honest, I'll force her to. Real or fake." The screenshot painted her not as a grieving grandmother, but as a mother hell-bent on exposing her daughter no matter the cost. Even if it meant destroying her in her weakest moment. The cliffhanger was brutal. Was Karlissa bluffing about the receipts? Was the DNA leak even real? And if the truth about the baby's father came out, what would it do to Chrisean, her child, and a family already shattered beyond repair? One thing was undeniable: the desperate prayers had mutated into a hurricane of betrayal, secrets, and accusations with no breaks in sight. The internet didn't just gossip, it erupted. Within hours, Karlissa and Chrisean's private prayer session was a global trending topic. Hashtag prayer drama, hashtag Karlissa versus Chrisean, and hashtag baby truth all exploded simultaneously, pulling in millions of tweets, reposts, and stitches. What was once family business became everybody's business. The battlefield was split. One side defended Chrisean fiercely. "She's already fighting for her baby's life. Imagine your own mama dragging you instead of holding you." The other side framed it differently. "This isn't tough love. This is abuse in prayer's clothing." The other side, shockingly, threw their support behind Karlissa. "Sometimes moms tell hard truths," they argued. "Maybe Karlissa sees what Chrisean refuses to admit. Everyone hates her now. But what if she's right about the baby? Then what?" This wasn't just online chatter anymore, it was war. Hashtags sprouted overnight. Hashtag pray for Chrisean filled with tearful fan videos begging for peace, while hashtag Karlissa was right exploded with conspiracy threads, receipts, and TikTok breakdowns of that blurred DNA image. The drama turned into performance art. Creators reenacted the prayer scene, mocking Karlissa's accusatory tone and Chrisean's desperate screams, while others slowed down clips of Chrisean crying, layering gospel music over captions like "all she wanted was a prayer." Millions of views poured in, solidifying the scandal as more than gossip, it was content gold. Celebrities couldn't resist chiming in. Cardi B, never shy about family drama, tweeted, "There's a time to be a mother and a time to be quiet." That prayer wasn't it. Summer Walker echoed the sentiment on Instagram. "Man, some things you just don't do to your kids in public." I feel bad for Chrisean, but not everyone backed her. Funk Flex on Hot 97 dropped a bomb. "Karlissa might be wild, but I don't think she's lying. Blueface ain't never been a saint. Y'all acting brand new." Even gospel voices weighed in. A well-known pastor tweeted bluntly, "Prayer is not the place for accusations. God doesn't honor confusion." Meanwhile, the blogs had a field day. The Shade Room plastered a split screen of Karlissa and Chrisean mid-prayer with the caption, "When faith turns into family feud." Hollywood Unlocked kept the fire burning with a teaser headline, "DNA receipts coming, Karlissa hints she has proof." Each post pulled hundreds of thousands of comments, fans either picking sides or begging for the full truth. But the wildest twist came from Blueface himself. Just when everyone assumed he'd stay quiet, he fired off a tweet later deleted saying, "Y'all know damn well that's my kid. Don't let clout chasing fool you." Screenshots spread like wildfire before he yanked it down, but the damage was already done. His words only fueled the debate. If he was so certain, why delete it? Was he hiding something or just exhausted by the circus? The chaos even spilled offline. Paparazzi spotted fans outside a Los Angeles hospital, holding signs that read prayers for Baby J and "Truth will set you free." The images went viral, proving this was no longer just internet gossip, it was a real-world protest of faith versus family dysfunction. Mainstream outlets jumped in. TMZ ran the headline, Karlissa and Chrisean rocks prayer session turns into family brawl. Daily Mail screamed, mother accuses daughter during baby's health scare, chaos caught on tape. Even local Baltimore news covered the mess, pointing to the growing family divide. But the most jaw-dropping reactions came from fans digging receipts of their own. Twitter detectives resurfaced old interviews where Karlissa admitted she never trusted the situation around that baby. Others unearthed Instagram comments she'd dropped months back, accusing Chrisean of hiding truths. Suddenly, her explosive prayer accusations didn't feel random, they felt like a storm she'd been building for months. They felt like the climax of months of suspicion, but the backlash was brutal. Chrisean's supporters swarmed Karlissa's accounts with snake emojis and angry comments. You're cancelled. This is why your family's broken. No mother drags her daughter like this. Yet in the middle of the chaos, Karlissa stayed defiant. She dropped a cryptic Instagram story. The truth don't need defending. Y'all will see soon enough. That single line reignited the fire. Fans begged her to explain. Supporters applauded. Haters tore her apart. But one thing was certain, Karlissa wasn't backing down, and the world wasn't letting go. What started as a family crisis had turned into a global spectacle. Everyone was invested, everyone had an opinion, and everyone was waiting for the next shoe to drop. Then, right when the drama felt unbearable, whispers of an even darker revelation began spreading. A gossip page teased, the real father might finally be revealed. Receipts coming tomorrow. The internet froze. Was this the endgame or just another setup for heartbreak? Nobody knew, but everyone braced for the twist that could end this family saga once and for all. The drama had already swallowed the internet whole, but the darkest twist was still lurking in the shadows. Late at night, just as fans thought the storm might calm, a new leak dropped. This time it wasn't audio, it wasn't video. It was a blurry document stamped with a clinic's watermark claiming to be a DNA test. Names were partially redacted, but the headline was bold and undeniable: probability of paternity. Moments later, Chrisean went live, her face streaked with tears, but her tone pure fire. Y'all believe anything. My baby's father is Blueface. Period. I don't care what paper you saw. That's my truth, and I'll stand on it until the day I die. Y'all can't break me. With those fiery words, Chrisean lit up her live, drawing a flood of support, fans showering her with love, hearts, and prayers. But skepticism lingered. If she was so sure, critics asked, why sound so defensive? Then Karlissa struck again. She popped up on Instagram, smirking into the camera with a cryptic tease. I told you the truth was coming, and this is only the beginning. One sentence, and the firestorm doubled in size. Fans split down the middle. Was Karlissa secretly orchestrating the leaks? Did she really have more documents ready to drop? Or was she just milking the chaos for attention? But just when the internet thought it had seen the peak of insanity, a chilling twist dropped out. Of nowhere, an anonymous Twitter account posted a cryptic warning. You think it's just about the baby? You think this is only about paternity? Watch closely. There are bigger secrets tied to this family, and tomorrow the world will know. Attached was a grainy clip: Karlissa, pacing in a dimly lit room, her voice muffled but terrifying. If she won't confess, I'll make sure the world drags her until she does. The implication was brutal. This wasn't just a mother-daughter feud anymore. This was all-out war, and Karlissa looked ready to sacrifice her own child's reputation. In the process, fans couldn't process it. Twitter exploded into chaos with conspiracy threads about hidden fathers, secret affairs, and grudges buried so deep they made the feud look even darker. TikTok edits wasted no time, layering Karlissa's ominous phone call over dark, cinematic music with captions like, she doesn't want truth, she wants revenge. Even celebrities couldn't resist. Cardi B tweeted bluntly, that's not prayer, that's punishment. Gospel singers began backing away, too, declaring publicly, this isn't God's work, this is chaos. The battle lines were carved deep. Team Chrisean versus Team Karlissa became one of the year's most polarizing wars, and caught in the middle was an innocent baby, his future overshadowed by viral scandal. Then came the cliffhanger no one was ready for. Insiders whispered about another DNA test, a second document Karlissa hadn't dropped yet, one that could unleash something even more shocking. Some claimed it named another man entirely. Others said it proved the first leak was fake. Nobody knew. All the internet knew was this: the next leak, whether real or fake, could destroy everything. Chrisean's career, Karlissa's credibility, and the last fragile hope this family might ever heal. And as that anonymous account teased, tomorrow it ends. Or tomorrow it gets worse. So here we are. A prayer that began in desperation, twisted into accusation, and exploded into one of the wildest family feuds the internet has ever witnessed. Karlissa turning faith into fire, Chrisean broken and furious, defending herself and her baby, and the entire world caught in the middle of a DNA storm that could change everything. But here's the brutal truth: this story isn't over. So what happens when the next bombshell finally drops? That's where I turn it over to you. Do you honestly believe Karlissa has the receipts? Or is she just manipulating the chaos to control the narrative? Is Chrisean being unfairly attacked in her darkest hour? Or is there still a secret she hasn't confessed? And the biggest question of all, when the truth comes out, will this family ever recover? Or will this drama burn their bond to the ground forever? Drop your answers in the comments, don't hold back. Are you riding with Team Chrisean, siding with Team Karlissa, or do you think both of them are hiding something? One thing's for sure: the next chapter will be darker, louder, and more explosive than anything we've seen so far. So smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and stay locked in, because when the next leak hits, it won't just shake the internet. It could shatter this family's bond forever. This isn't the end. It's just the calm before the next storm.